What's up, you guys? Namicon here, bringing you my perspective as to what entertainment is bringing us. And today, I'll be finally talking about a Star Wars film with The Phantom Menace. Released in theaters on May 19th, 1999, the film was a commercial success, grossing over $1 billion at the box office, and it became the highest grossing film of 1999. Critically, however, it is one of the most divisive films ever. At the time, people had high expectations for the film because the original trilogy was seen as untouchable films. And if it was seen anything but great, there will be war. Unfortunately, since it came out, The Phantom Menace was seen with so much hatred, so much so that multiple people who worked on the movie were met with so much just death threats to the point where some people quit Hollywood because of how much they got hate from the Star Wars fans. The film stars Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, and Ian McDiarmid. The film was written and directed by George Lucas. While writing the original Star Wars movie, which is now known as A New Hope, George Lucas decided that the story was too vast to be covered in one film. He negotiated a contract to make two sequels, and over time, he created a backstory to aid his writing process. By the time Return of the Jedi came out, Lucas had thoughts about making a prequel storyline. In the early 1990s, Star Wars saw a resurgence of popularity because of the Dark Horse's comic books of the franchise and novels of them done by Timothy Zahn. And Lucas noticed the popularity, and so he announced that he will be doing the prequels. I think it also helped that there were video games of there were so many video games of Star Wars. Like I think one specific one that I should mention at the time was the Super Star Wars trilogy. That one was pretty popular at the time. So the story begins with the Trade Federation blocking Naboo because the Federation are secretly trying to prepare a full-scale invasion of the planet. Dispatched by Chancellor Valorum, Jedi Knights Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi went to make a negotiation with Trade Federation leader Newt Gunray. However, it all went badly as Darth Sidious, a Sith Lord and a secret benefactor of the Trade Federation, orders the Viceroy to kill the Jedi off and to begin their invasion with the army of battle-ready droids. So after Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan escaped, they meet with Jar Jar Binks, a Gungan outcast who was rescued by Qui-Gon. Jar Jar joins the Jedi by the reluctance of them. However, the Jedi have no choice but to work with Jar Jar, as the Trade Federation are still looking for them. And so they swam to Otogunga, an underwater city where the Gungans live. The leader of the Gungans, Boss Nass, tells the Jedi to fuck off, as they were persuading him to help the surface dwellers up. However, he did send them an underwater transport thanks to the guidance of Jar Jar Binks. And so they decided to meet and so they decide to go to various planets and they meet other people such as Queen Amidala, R2D2, C3PO, and a young Anakin Skywalker. I'll be real with you, I really do not like this film. For one, I didn't care about the story all that much. Now, I'm not saying that putting politics in a film doesn't make it boring because it's not. There have been plenty of films that specializes in politics and use them well. Captain America Civil War, anyone? Unfortunately, George Lucas made the politics side boring and uninteresting in The Phantom Menace. I also did not care for most of the characters. They were so flat and uninteresting. I didn't care for Qui-Gon Jinn. I didn't care for Jar Jar. Yes, he was annoyed, but not a deal breaker for the franchise. Nor did I care for young Anakin Skywalker. I thought Obi-Wan was fine in the film, but my god, everyone was so monotone to the point where I was contemplating why should I care about them. The CGI looks terrible. Like I'm sure that when it came out, it must have looked cool, but man, why did George Lucas use chose to use CGIs in all the vehicles and droids instead of using his artifacts like he did in the original trilogy? Like it looks so dated. Like it looks it looks so dated. Like honestly, and the villain of the film, Darth Maul, while an awesome character in the TV shows, was heavily underutilized in this film. He was just there to fight Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, which, don't get me wrong, that is a cool fight scene. But damn it, I wish it was used a lot more in the film. One thing I will praise the movie for is the score. John Williams came back to compose the Phantom Menace. Oh my god! Oh my god! He did an amazing job. He did an amazing job. This is some of the best compositions he has ever done. It's probably the only thing many people will give the prequels praise for. I mean, come on! Everyone knows Duel of the Fates. It's such an iconic song to Star Wars. It's the Star Wars song in it's for me. It is the Star Wars song. I'm certain that people in my generation can agree with that. That is the Star Wars song. That's the Star Wars song for that Star Wars. Duel of the Fates created an entire generation. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the Phantom Menace. I think the reason why the film doesn't didn't meet up with expectations was because George Lucas wrote and directed this film all to himself. Now, it isn't the first time he did that. He also directed and written the first Star Wars film. It is a very good film. It is revolutionary. It it does have problems. It there it does it does have problems, but I'm not gonna get into I'm not gonna get into how what the issues were since it's been a long time since I've seen A New Hope, but it's not perfect by any means. So I feel like Lucas fumbled the bag when he decided to write and direct the Phantom Menace because the Empire Strikes Back, previous movies, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. While George Lucas wrote the story, he didn't direct those. He didn't direct those films, which honestly that was for the best. Yeah, because especially for The Empire Strikes Back, because that is my favorite Star Wars film by far. I don't think any other Star Wars films comes close. Maybe the Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith, but no, I don't. Yeah, but the Empire Strikes Back is top tier. No, I don't think any Star Wars film will ever touch the Empire Strikes Back in my eyes. But yeah, the Phantom Menace. I don't like this film all that much. I as someone who grew up with the prequels, um, I don't like this film. I really don't. But another thing that I would give, another thing that I like about this film, it's the pod racers. That one was actually pretty cool. I actually like that. That was actually pretty cool. They did because because it was so cool. They actually made a racing game for it exclusively for the Nintendo 64. I didn't play the game, but from what I've heard, it was actually pretty good. But otherwise, I didn't care for this film all that much. Um, but yeah, for those of you that have seen Star Wars Episode One: The Phantom Menace, you should like it. You should hate it. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and you can follow my Instagram, Letterboxd and Backlog down in the description down below. You can also join my Discord server down in the description down below. And with that out of the way, the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, for me, gets a D plus. If I'm maybe a C minus if I'm being generous, but if I'm being real, I would give it a D plus. But anyways, this is Namicon, and I'll see you next time.